What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Did he really just say that?
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
Yeah, he said that. Is he a racist, or is his mental acuity off?
Have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you?
How about both? Do you really need to see any more proof that, number one, Joe Biden is mentally not with it? These are not gaffes. These are more than Freudian slips. This is a man operating who no longer has the mental acuity to filter what is coming out of his mouth. First of all, this is proof positive he is not going to debate Donald Trump. You can get that dream right out of your head. It's not going to happen. But I am interested to know, who is it in the Biden campaign that keeps allowing him to go out there, even in so-called friendly water, knowing full well that he can't stick to the script. He won't stick to the script. That he gets combative, which, by the way, is something that you see with individuals who suffer from dementia and Alzheimer's. They get very combative, especially when their mental acuity is questioned. Even when you know there's a problem, if you even insinuate there's a problem, they get very angry, agitated, hostile, combative. Is this not Joe Biden? We saw this out on the campaign trail. He was picking fights with supporters at his own rallies.
Got two problems with you. One is you're damn near as old as I am. You're too old for the job. I got a question I want you to answer. We all know Trump has been messing around in the Ukraine over there, but you, on the other hand, sent your son over there to get a job and work for a gas company that he had no experience with gas or nothing, in order to get access for the president. So you're selling access to the president just like he was. So
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that. No one has proved that.
I see it on the TV.
You see it on the
All I
TV.
have to do is watch
No, I know you do. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take an IQ test, okay?
All right.
Number one. Number two. No one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I
one.
didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
And living sequestered in the bunker has not helped him one bit. So who is it in the Biden campaign that keeps putting him out there, where he keeps walking into it? Is this somebody who really doesn't get it? Or is there something going on inside the Biden campaign? Is it somebody who is really a Bernie type supporter? Is it a plant that Donald Trump has put in there? Who in the Biden campaign is trying to take out their own candidate by putting him out there in these situations that they know that as soon as the videos hit, he is in hot water? And this isn't going to be able to be just explained away. And the lying legacy, corporate, corrupt mainstream media, though they continue to carry the water for Joe Biden, people will look at this, and no matter what the media spin is it, it is what it is, to borrow a phrase from the president. It is what it is. I mean, Biden said it. Now, you go back to when he was on the Breakfast Club, when he said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And then he comes out, and today he says, now listen, there is a difference between Hispanic people and black people. Hispanic people are very diverse. Black people are not. Let me translate for you what he was saying. Hispanic people think. Black people don't. Listen to the statement again.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things.
It's been interesting to watch the lying legacy corporate corrupt mainstream media spin this. Vice President Biden draws line between blacks and Hispanic. Vice President Joe Biden makes comparison between black and Hispanic voters. What if this had been Donald Trump who said that? Racist Donald Trump again fans the flames of hatred in spite of what's just happened to our country because of George Floyd. That is exactly how this would be presented if Donald Trump was saying it. But this is case in point, not only of Joe's mental lack, but once the filter is gone, the real you begins to come out. You know, I've been in the ministry over 30 years, and from time to time I have had to deal with domestic disputes, arguing, fighting between friends, and usually you'll hear something like this, well, I didn't mean to say that. Yes, you did. At that moment, you meant to say it. The Bible, you know, again, my go-to book, the Bible says that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. In other words, what's in your heart will come out your mouth. Now, if we're lying, if we are in control of ourselves, we're able to filter what comes out. It's not always the truth. Right now, Biden has no filter, and he is your typical 1960s style liberal. And by that I mean this. I'm not saying that he doesn't feel sorry for black people, but that's the problem. In typical white liberal stereotypical terms, he feels sorry for black people, that apparently they are unable to accomplish anything on their own without mighty white like him stepping in to do it for them. And he just absolutely expects that the Democratic Party owns the black vote. See, if you're black, you're not free to think for yourself. You're not free to come to your own conclusions and even be different. Or you get called an Uncle Tom. You get called a sellout. Isn't that what Terry Crews was trying to say that got him in such hot water?
You know, I compare that tweet to cussing in church. Because what's wild is you have the message, but then if you use a cuss word, nobody's really hearing what you're saying. You know what I mean? The cuss word I used in this instance was black supremacy. And this is what I want to really, really reiterate to you and explain. My thing was, what I said was defeating white supremacy without white people could create black supremacy. And this is what I'm talking about. My thing is, in the black race, in black America, we have gatekeepers. We have people who have decided that who is going to be black and who's not. And I, simply because I have a mixed race wife, have been discounted from the conversation a lot of times by very, very militant movements, the Black Power movement. I've been called all kinds of things like an Uncle Tom, simply because I'm successful, simply because I work my way out of Flint, Michigan. And the problem is, and this is the thing, the problem with that is that black people have different views. You know, it's funny because when you're white, you can be Republican, Libertarian, Democrat. You can be anything, but if you're black, you have to be one thing. Even Joe Biden said, hey, man, you don't vote for me, you ain't even black.
Right.
And so this blackness is always judged and it's always put up against this thing. And I'm going, wait a minute, that right there is a supremacist move. You have now put yourself above other black people. And I'm trying to tell you, and then I got told it couldn't exist. And this is the deal. In 1994 in Rwanda, there was a genocide, and it was all black people. And there was one sector that viewed themselves as over the other. A million people died.
Yes.
And I was told it can't happen in America. And I'm here to tell you that's the first mistake. Anytime anybody says, oh, that could never happen here, that's exactly when it starts to happen.
Do you regret using the term black supremacy?
You know, I can't really regret it because I really want the dialogue to come out. Maybe there's another term that might be better, where it's separatist or elitist or something like that. But the thing is that I've experienced supremacy even growing up. I've had black people tell me that the white man is the devil. I've experienced whole organizations that have viewed themselves because of the suffering of black people. They have decided that now we are not equal, we're better. And I think that's a mistake. I'm trying to tell you, just the mentality, what we're trying to do, I think a lot of times with the social and economic and political issues we have right now, we're providing those kind of answers. But this is a spiritual problem. Supremacy can't really happen, but spiritually it can. In your head, you can look at yourself and you can develop a dangerous self-righteousness that could really hurt what we're trying to do right now.
Boom. And Biden just puts it out there. He just absolutely said, look, Hispanic voters, they're diverse in their thought. What they think in Florida is not the same way they think in Arizona. In other words, what he is saying is Hispanic people think. Black people don't. If you're black and you're supporting Joe Biden, honestly, I'm not trying to be antagonistic right now. I am asking an honest, legitimate question. Do you really believe this dude is not racist? Do you really understand that what he sees you as is poor, uneducated, unmotivated? You obviously live in the projects. You name your kids things like Corn Pop, and unless the government is there with a free handout, you can't make it. Do you understand that is how Joe Biden sees you? And because he sees you that way, he feels that you owe him your vote because he'll provide these things for you because, forgive me for saying it this way, you're too stupid to know how to provide these things for yourself. But Hispanic people, well, we got to work a little bit on our messaging to them because some of them do like Trump because, well, they think, if I were black, I would be so incensed, so outraged, so insulted. And finally, the media gets around to asking him, Joe, do you really think that you are mentally not up to the challenge? Do you think you should take an acuity test?
Have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you
So he tells a CBS reporter, what are you, a junkie? Now, did the media come out and excoriate Joe Biden for going after one of their own? Did they pull a Bob Acosta and demand an apology and just talk about it endlessly on the 24-hour news cycles? No. They let it go, which is what they do with Joe Biden, which is exactly why he is not going to debate Donald Trump. They cannot risk this behavior, and you'll get a lot of it on the debate stage. Now, those of us who not only support the president, but we haven't had a lot of fun lately. Everything is taken away from us, and even when they brought sports back, they had to bring back this libloon, politically correct, social justice woke form of sports with, Black Lives Matter all over everything. Baseball is back. They did one day of that, and they got over that really quick. But still, it's hard to sit there and watch the games with cardboard fans in the stands, and the whole thing is just weird. We've had no entertainment. The president can't travel. He can't do his rallies, and And we want some action. We want something to watch that's not on Netflix. We want something that's fun. And you know that a Trump-Biden debate would be classic. Not only the things that Donald Trump says, but the way he would be able to goad and get Biden to just absolutely lose it. Can you imagine the junk that will come out of his mouth? Look, here he is in these softball interviews, sitting in the confines of his bunker, and he's still putting his foot into it. Because again, the mental acuity is gone. There's no filter, and now he's telling you what he really thinks. And here's what he thinks. Hey man, I'm way too smart to take a IQ test. You ought to take one, you junkie. Hispanic people, they think. Yeah, it's going to take a little bit of work and nuance for me to win them over, because they think. Black people, that's easy. They don't think. They all do the same thing. As long as I'm there with a welfare check, I got their vote. That is exactly what Joe Biden thinks. That is exactly what he said. Getting interesting. Make sure you're a subscriber to the channel. Give us a thumbs up and a like. Share this to your social media platforms. Make sure you smack the bell and click the word all to get notification of my next rant.